The Cartographer of Echoes. The map of the last sigh. Good evening. There are places that hold more than just dust and time. They treasure the murmur of what we once were. Have you ever felt that an empty room still breathes with an old joy? Or that the wind on a lonely street whispers a goodbye from decades ago? Tonight, on the corner of lost stories, I will take you to a world where feelings leave an imprint as real as stone. We will meet Elian, the last cartographer of echoes. Elian did not draw continents or delineate borders. His atlas contained no rivers or mountains. He mapped the geography of the human soul. With a compass forged from moon silver, he did not seek the magnetic north. He sought the resonance of a profound love, the vibration of an ancient sorrow. His ink was special, dew collected at dawn and mixed with a pinch of longing. Each map was a visual poem, a constellation of moments that refused to fade away. He lived in a workshop cluttered with silent parchments, each one a universe of feeling. There hung the map of the first courage, extracted from an old wooden bridge, and beside it the cartography of an obstinate hope found on a hospital bench. But one map was missing from his collection, the most important of all. The echo that had set him on this path was fading, like a watercolor in the rain. It was the echo of the last lullaby his mother sang to him, a melody that was now barely a whisper in the memory of his childhood home. He felt the icy panic of permanent loss. If he didn't map it soon, it would be gone forever. Thus began his pilgrimage, not to find it, but to prepare himself. He had to tune his spirit, to sharpen his perception before facing such a delicate task. His first destination was an abandoned train station, a sanctuary of farewells. He activated his compass. The silver needle vibrated, spinning frantically. It stopped, pointing toward an old rail car covered in rust and ivy. Elian closed his eyes and took a deep breath, tuning himself to the place. He could feel it, a wave of pure longing, the wait for a return that never came. He unrolled a blank parchment on a wooden crate. His quill danced, drawing not the shapes of the car, but the currents of that long wait. He traced lines of patience, spirals of faith, and points of disillusionment. When he finished, the map glowed with a melancholic, silvery light. He named it The Geometry of Absence. Every story he mapped strengthened his connection to the past. If you are moved by the idea that feelings can be preserved, show your support with a like, so these chronicles may live on. His journey then took him to the library of a city forgotten by time. Among collapsed shelves, the compass guided him to a single book. It was no ordinary book. Its pages were blank. But upon touching it, Elian felt the emotion, the frustration and the dream of a writer who never dared. It was the echo of 1,000 untold stories, a universe of stifled words. He spent 2 days there, mapping the weight of that unfulfilled potential. The result was a complex map, full of paths that broke off and galaxies of extinguished ideas. The Atlas of Possible Worlds. He named it in a whisper. With each captured echo, Elian felt his own memory become both sharper and more fragile. He knew the moment was approaching. Finally, he began the journey back to his childhood home. The path was overgrown with weeds. The door creaked like a lament. Everything seemed smaller, shrunken by the passing decades. The air inside was still, heavy with the scent of wood and oblivion. He climbed the stairs, each step an echo in itself. He reached his old room. The cradle was gone, but its specter remained in the center. This was it, the place of the melody's last sigh. He took out the compass. The needle barely trembled, an almost imperceptible movement. The echo was faint, a thread of light about to break. Elian sat on the floor, closed his eyes, and submerged himself in the silence. He could not seek the echo. He had to let the echo find him. He remembered the warmth of his mother's arms, the touch of her hair. He remembered the aroma of freshly baked bread that filled the house. He allowed himself to feel the pain of her departure, the loneliness that followed. Tears began to fall, and he did nothing to stop them. Each tear was an anchor connecting him more deeply to the past. And then he heard it not with his ears, but with his entire being. A soundless melody, a caress of phantom notes. It was the lullaby, as clear and pure as the first time. Trembling, he unrolled his last and most precious parchment. His quill did not touch the paper. It hovered millimeters above the surface. He let emotion guide his hand, let love become ink. He did not draw lines, but vibrations. He did not trace paths, but embraces. The light in the room seemed to concentrate on the parchment. Colors Elian had never seen before began to bloom on the paper. There was the deep blue of security, the warm gold of unconditional affection, the serene green of the peace that only a mother can give. The map was creating itself through him. Elian was merely the channel, the vessel for a love that transcended death. He worked for hours, or perhaps minutes. Time had lost its meaning. When the last vestige of the melody faded, the quill fell from his fingers. He looked at the parchment. It was the most beautiful work he had ever created. A luminous spiral that seemed to spin slowly, emitting a soft warmth. It was not a map. It was a relic. The echo had vanished from the room forever. But now it lived, vibrant and eternal, in the cartography he held in his hands. He returned to his workshop, feeling a void and a fullness at the same time. He hung the map in the place of honor, on the central wall. The map of the last sigh, he read on a small plaque he placed beneath it. He no longer felt the urgency of his quest, the anguish of forgetting. He had learned the most important lesson of his craft. It wasn't about possessing memories, about clinging to them in desperation. It was about honoring them, about understanding that every emotion we experience, however painful or joyous, is what builds us. Elian continued his work, but now with a renewed purpose. He no longer mapped for himself, but for the world. He created a secret library, an archive of human feelings, a place where future generations could visit and understand the echo of their ancestors, the map of a shared laugh in a town square, the tenacity of a gardener in a parched orchard, the melancholy of a lighthouse keeper gazing at the horizon. He turned his art into a legacy, an invisible bridge between souls across time. Because Elian, a cartographer of echoes, understood that there is no force more powerful in the universe. Not time nor distance, not even death can completely erase the indelible mark of a heart that has truly loved. Elian's story teaches us that our most precious memories reside not in our minds, but in our heart's capacity to continue feeling them. They are the echoes that define and accompany us, the invisible maps of our own journey. What emotional echo would you like to preserve forever? What is that feeling, that moment, you wish you could capture on an eternal map? Share your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if this story resonated with you, subscribe, and ring the bell, so the echo of our lost stories will always find its way to you. Until next time.